Done. All right, let's turn off the music. Okay. So we are going to get going. Okay, we're going to get going because it is 7:00 and I don't want to go past. Well, I want to try to be done by 7:30. Okay, I hope I can get this all in. If you have questions as I'm going throughout, I can't. Obviously, this isn't like a live interactive. It's Facebook. So you can put any questions you have in the comments. I can go back and read them and private message you later. So, all right. So what I wanted to do tonight was talk about not, I guess you could say a new wellness opportunity, but not really. I am still with the same company I've been with for almost 2 years, Ternat. We are a health and wellness company that has plant-based products that help support metabolic health. In addition to that, you can create a business with this company if you want to either make enough money to pay for your products or make as much money as you want in life, depending on what effort you want to put into it. We have all the tools, we have all the systems, we have everything right there ready for you to go. We have the best mentors I've ever personally worked with in over 20 years in the industry. So that is who Ternat is. So what I want to talk about tonight is just kind of having an honest conversation about my health journey. We'll talk a little bit about the company and how you can get started with either the products. Mostly we're going to be talking about and I have to be careful how I say it. So I am going to say, I'm going to speak of it as, wellness revolutionary, these new wellness revolutionary products, because the actual word PEPTIDE is very much not liked on social media, and people are getting in trouble for that. Why? I don't know. It is what it is right now, but that is what is happening. So I'm going to have to be very careful with how I say that. I can't actually say the type of PEP. I guess we could call it what I'm going to call it? I'm going to call it a green pepper. Okay. I'm going to call it green peppers. Green peppers, guys. Okay. I can't say the actual specific green peppers either. So when I say green peppers, you know that I'm talking about PEPTIDE. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. By the way, I am Sarah. If you know me, you know that I have always been very passionate about health and wellness. I went to school to be a teacher. I never taught a day in my life. I didn't want to do it, but I do love educating, but more in the health and wellness space. I became a certified personal trainer, a group fitness instructor. I owned my own company for a while. I've worked at multiple gyms. I've trained people. Got some crazy hair there. I've trained people in their homes. I've been contracted out by different companies and hospitals and things like that. So I've kind of done a lot in that area. And then I just kind of moved more into the direct marketing side of health and wellness and coaching from online. I am probably the most passionate about this because of my own health journey. I, started having some health issues when I was a preteen. I went on to struggle with a pretty serious eating, and that was through high school. I had meningitis in college. I had to take a semester off of college. It was partially the reason why I decided not to go back. I also just didn't want to teach. And then I was diagnosed about 7 years ago with chronic Lyme disease and mold toxicity, which had been causing years of issues, and we couldn't figure out what it was. And they were turning into some pretty serious neurological issues. So that is why I'm very, very passionate about health and wellness, because of my own health struggles, my own up and downs with my weight, not only just because of some of my own poor choices, but starting at a very young age, kind of messing up my metabolism with an ED. But also those health issues didn't make it any easier either. And so I know that struggle. I've been there. If you know me, you've seen me at quite a few different sizes. And I have finally in the last year, dropped about 103 pounds. With that, and I just want to say that because I do see a functional doctor, that weight loss has included lean muscle gain, bone density gain. So it is not like I've just lost all this weight and a lot of it's muscle. No, I've been keeping track through a very specific scan that has showed that I've increased my lean muscle and increased my bone density. So I want everyone to know that when we're going to talk about green peppers, that there's a right way to do this, and there's a very wrong way to do this. And I am not a doctor. I am not claiming, and right off the bat, please know this, I am not claiming that any of what this is going to cure, treat, prevent any disease in you. You need to work with a qualified, licensed medical doctor on these things. I am not qualified to do that. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just sharing with you what has worked for me. So, um, but I think, I grew up in a home with a mother who was a nurse, and I appreciate that so much. But I didn't know there really was another side to health until I got to college and I actually met my husband, and they did things very, very differently. And it was kind of shocking to me. But the more I learned and the more I researched, I thought, wow, this just makes so much sense. Why are we not doing more to prevent disease? Why are we not eating better to support and improve our immune system? Why aren't we using a lot of these things that God's given us? And a lot of medications in and of themselves are derived from plants, right? So why does there have to be this big separation or this big almost like war between the two? Why does it have to be, oh, it's wrong to do it this way, it's right to do it this way, you shouldn't do it this way, you should only do it this way? And there was a time where I probably thought a little bit more of that one-sided thought too. But life tends to change us, struggles seem to change us, and if we are desperate to feel better, we will start looking at all of our options, right? So my philosophy is not about choosing sides. A year and a half ago, I probably would have said what I'm doing now wouldn't have even been on my radar. I was very anti that because social media, what we see pushed in front of us on the screens, what we see they want us to see, we immediately think that must be how it is. And I think that people are becoming more and more aware of all of the things that AI and media have created, that maybe that's not necessarily true. Maybe there's more to the story, right? And an example of that would be, and again, when I say green peppers, please know I'm talking about PEPTIDES, okay? With green peppers, there's a brand name one out there that starts with an O, right? And we heard all these horrible things about that thing, right? The big O green pepper, but that is the name brand, okay? I have to be very careful with what I say, guys. So please, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just, drop some comments below and I can get back to you. But we would see things like, oh, these people are getting, so desperately thin. They look just absolutely terrible. They're getting gastroparesis. Their bones are falling apart, and these horrible stories. And you were like, immediately thought, this is a horrible thing. Nobody should be taking it. Now, medications are medications. I'm not a doctor, so I'm never going to be able to prescribe you one, nor would I. But there is always going to be side effects with anything, and there's always going to be the possibility of a side effect with any medication. That is right. That is absolutely true. However, you need to look at the risks and the benefits of where you're at. I was 46 at the time. I was pushing, okay? I was getting close to 300 pounds at 5'10". That was a nightmare for me to see. And I'm middle-aged at this time, right? All these natural things I've been doing, I've been working out off and on. I wasn't always consistent, but the majority of my life I have been. It wasn't giving me enough of what I needed. Now, when I started with the company Ternant and the daily health system, which is still amazing, and guys, Ternant is still Ternant. It's not going away. Everything is staying the same. They are just adding something, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. I had lost my first 30 pounds with daily health system, tracking food and exercise. And then I was stuck and I was stalled and I was still tired. And we're all different, guys. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. So when my functional doctor started talking about green peppers and she was using them, I thought, whoa, whoa, whoa. If she's using them and she's starting to use them in her practice with her patients, there must be maybe more to this. So then that began my deep dive and my deep researching, talking with my functional doctor. I was still terrified. I waited 8 months before I finally decided to try a green pepper, because I was going from, these are the worst things in the world, how could anyone take them, to, I'm so miserable, I want to enjoy my life. If someone's 350 pounds and they have super high blood pressure and super high blood glucose levels and every marker that puts them at like a heart attack risk any second, and then we're going to tell them, but don't you ever take one of those green peppers because they're terrible. Like, come on, guys. Now, the Hollywood person who wants to lose 10 pounds and they were getting those over the people who are actually diabetic and needed them. Yeah, that's called the system, abusing things. I'm not okay with that. Absolutely not. But these things should be between you and your practitioner. How do you want to start? It is a tool, okay? If you do choose to use these, you have to know that eating healthy, it's going to be easier because you're not going to think about food, but you cannot not eat. Do you know that something called anorexia and the other counterpart of that, which starts with a B, that will cause your bones to get brittle and have bone density loss because you're not eating, you're not getting nutrients. Your body is starving for nutrition. That can also happen with using these green peppers if you're not eating, tracking your food, getting the right amount of protein, getting whole foods, and yes, I'm sorry, you have to weight train. You don't have to go to a gym. You don't have to buy all this equipment, but you need to do something. You need to do body resistance. You need to do something to improve your lean muscle mass. Okay. So I finally caved in and I said, all right, so the end of last year, I started it terrified. And it has been nothing but a blessing. I have lost an extra almost 70 pounds while my lean muscle mass and bone density have improved. My sleep is the best it's been in I don't even know how long. My skin, my skin used to be terrible starting at 21. I have worked with an esthetician that helped improve it greatly, but the last year I have had almost no breakouts at all. More energy, clearer thinking, and again, the food noise truly being shut off is like just a gift I cannot explain. Now, did I have side effects? No. Do some people? Yes. It's with a certain one that I am familiar with. Very few people do, but yes, you can. You can also be part of a population of people that genetically this may not work for. That is truth. Okay, I'm going to give you all of these truths. I don't want to candy coat anything. Do I think this is a huge push in science in a good way? Yes, I actually do. But like anything good, it can be abused. So my part of this is to be your coach, to be your supporter, to coach you along the way with what should you eat? I created a metabolic plate plan, I call it. It's a 20, I think it's like maybe it's 30 some pages, I forget, but it has like 26 different recipes in it. It gives you a morning to evening routine of how to use our Trinot products if you'd like to use them too. It doesn't even talk about the green pepper side of things. I give people at-home workouts. Like I help coach you through this, but I can't do it for you and I'm not your body. I don't know how your body will respond, but that's who I am. I'm your coach and I'm your support because I've been there. I get it. If you do choose to try, okay, the green peppers, okay, which Trinot is launching July 1st, okay? And the company is called, which you see, Bell MD, BELLEMD. It is a telehealth company. So I do not prescribe it. I do not, you can't just say, oh, Sarah, can I get this from you? Absolutely not. I am the partner. I'm the liaison between it, okay? So when you decide you want to do this, you sign up with Bell MD through me, and you create an account and you decide what green pepper that you would like to try. And it goes through a medical board certified physician. That contact is between you and the physician, not me. I don't even know what you ordered, what your prescription is, because that thing called HIPAA, that is very important here. Now, if you are partnering with me, I want to be able to help you in every single way I can. So most people do tell their partner what they're on. But again, that's your choice because I am like I said, the liaison in between. This is a telehealth company that Trinot has now created. Okay. Here's the thing. This is projected to explode 5 times in the next 2 years. So they're saying like 80 up to 85% of people will be using one sort of at least one sort of green pepper in the near future here, 85% of people, because it's not just the GL blah, blah, blah. There's so many other kinds of green peppers out there, and they all have specific things they do for the body. Okay. By the way, green peppers have been being researched for almost or over 100 years. Actually, Pavlov, remember Dr. Pavlov, who did the experiment with dogs? He was starting to research green peppers back then. So it's being pushed faster now into these different categories of safety because they just work. They just work. And with a 74% obesity level in this country, it's not getting better. Desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess, but I wouldn't consider this a desperate measure. I'm just saying it's going to explode. One of my partners the other night said, when the iPhone came out, nobody in a zillion years would have thought that everyone would be carrying around an iPhone in their pocket. Today, we have 12-year-olds carrying around iPhones in their pockets, which I think is crazy, but we do, right? We don't even bat an eye anymore. But 20 years ago, that was like the elite of the elites business person that had one of those. And now it's just everyone has one. But nobody ever would have imagined that happening. That is kind of where we are at right now with green peppers. This is not new. Yes, it's exploded in the last couple years, and it probably seems trendy. But if I would have just jumped on something because it was trendy, I would have tried this years ago. Okay. I wasn't just skeptical, I was anti this. But my functional doctor, again, that I trust with my life, when she started researching this and started using it in her practice, I decided to give it a look because of how much she had helped me through the Lyme and mold. So, what do you do then if you want to do this? I was shopping today, by the way, at Walmart online, and I saw that Walmart has their own telehealth company that you can order green peppers from. And that was another example that dawned on me, guys, the telehealth companies are everywhere. They're everywhere. In fact, I was first using them through my functional doctor, and then I moved to a different telehealth company that was just a telehealth company. There was no partnerships with it or anything. And then I moved over here now because I was already with Trinont. It made sense. Okay. But I don't get any kickback personally by doing that, or if I went through Walmart or whatever. This is a way that you can get your green pepper or peppers and not only get paid back money because you are buying them through BellMD, but if you decide to take it a step further and be a partner, you can actually use that as a TAX write-off. Now, again, please hear me correctly. That has to be when you are an associate. You decide to be an associate with the company. If you are just a customer with BellMD, you cannot do the tax portion of it, okay? But there aren't a lot of other places out there where you can use them for your own consumption, get paid back money just because you're using them, and then also be able to create a home business. And that home business doesn't have to be you out there selling and doing this. It can be a way for you to improve your end of the, your tax, your end of the year tax season. Okay. So many people have little businesses like this, and they consider them just almost like a hobby business because they just want the tax write-offs. So there's so many options you can do with it. But I'm really gearing this more towards the people who just really want to get on a green pepper, but see the financial benefit also of getting money back every time you order that green pepper monthly. Okay. I would say the majority of people that do that are not trying to build a huge business. Okay. That's for somebody completely different. I do that because I want to do that. But if money is a factor, if affordability is a factor, that is a huge benefit. Now, the other question that I have already gotten, and I understand it, is, well, I found a place online that I could get that same green pepper for $30 a month, and you're going to charge $299. Why in the world would I buy that? Well, first of all, with my functional doctor, it was $400 a month. Okay. They are constantly adjusting the prices of these. You're going to see this change. Um, the entire telehealth company is going to be competitive. So they're all going to be around the same pricing because they want, oh, what just happened to my thing here? They want, excuse me, sorry. They want their company to be selling the product, right? Of course. $30 green peppers come from places like, we call it the black and the gray market. Okay. You're ordering it from somebody online, that somebody, whatever. These are called research only green peppers. Very different. Research only means, first of all, you don't know where they're coming from, what's in them, unless you own your own lab and you can test them. You have no idea what contaminants are in them. You have to reconstitute them, meaning you have to order some separate, like purified water and purified this, and then you have to do all the own mixing. And then it is not safe. Now, if you want to do that, my goodness, it's America. You can do whatever you want. There is no way in Hades I'm doing that. Okay. Because it took me this long just to try something that is safe. Okay. I'm not doing that. If you want to do that, go right ahead. I am going to go with places that are certified. Now, green peppers themselves, if this is important to you, are not FDA certified or FDA approved, certified, whatever. But the compounding pharmacies that they are made at are. So that is very, very important. So when you are getting, I take a few other prescriptions to my functional doctor that get made through a compounding pharmacy. One is in Colorado. Okay. They are certified pharmacies. So you are getting clean, safe, uncontaminated. It doesn't have lead. It doesn't have bits of who knows what else in it. That is the big difference between these telehealth companies where you're working with a board certified physician and this black and gray market. And I won't spend any time trying to convince people on that because, again, if you are okay with injecting yourself with who knows what, you can go right ahead. If you are not okay with that, then this is where you want to be. You want to be with telehealth. You want to be with something that is safe, that you are working with a doctor, that if you have questions, if you have side effects, if you need to go up, if you need to go down, we have something called microdosing. You are going to have a physician that you get to personally talk to. All right. And that's very, very, very important. The other thing too is that if you have an HSA or an FSA, you are able to use that to purchase these. Okay. So, I don't have that, but I know a lot of people do. So if that is something that you have, absolutely utilize that. If you are somebody that is already on one of these and your insurance covers it, why would you switch? Absolutely. But most people who want to try this don't have a diagnosis of something like diabetes where their insurance is going to cover it. There's also insurances that will only cover the oral form and not the injectable, or vice versa. And some people want only the oral or they want only the injectable. That is all, like I said, this is for the people who don't have the insurance coverage because they don't have a diagnosed disease that it will cover it. This is for the people who want to decide, oh no, I want to do injection. No, I want to do oral. Okay. Is there a difference? I absolutely believe there is. Now having been a product of, I guess, the product itself, I 100% say that I would encourage the injectable because here's how I look at it. You can take antibiotics orally, right? And they'll work, or they should. But if you are in the hospital with sepsis or, some kind of very, very serious bacterial disease, they're not giving you anything oral. They're shooting it right into you because things that are absorbed injection versus orally absorb very differently and at a very different pace. And there is no gut processing that has to go on when you inject something. So if people ask me, Sarah, what do you think I should try? The oral injectable? I'm going to tell you personally the injectable. But if you want to do oral, absolutely give it a try. I don't have the experience with the oral. I went straight for the, let's go into the bloodstream. Let's do this. So, and again, I can't say on live the exact words, the brand names. So these are all things that we can talk about behind the scenes. I'm just saying green peppers because that's going to keep me hopefully safe. So, but I wanted to give that HSA, FSA option out there for people. So BellMD launches July 1st. Why would getting your foot in the door now even if you're just solely here for the products, matter. It matters because July 1st, they're going to be up and ready to order. If you partner up here within the next 2 weeks, you are going to be able to be part of these awesome bonuses they're handing out to us for other people. And guys, again, 85% of people will be using at least probably one form of a green pepper in the next couple years. So why not get paid for that? Why not get paid sharing that with other people? Being part of a company that's been around for 13 years and is debt free and has a great track record. I can't see nothing but good things coming from this. But you're going to see them exploding everywhere. All right. They're, from Walmart telehealth to this telehealth to that telehealth to whatever, they're going to be everywhere. You can choose what you want, but if you like what I've shared with you over the years, if you can relate to my story, if you have built some trust with me, why not start at BellMD and start using them here? So there's bonuses like, you know, if 5 customers end up joining and they want to try a green pepper, there's a $500 bonus, another $5,000 bonus, and that can keep going up. Now, again, some people get tons of those bonuses. Some don't because they aren't pushing to grow a big team. But you're going to have, I cannot even tell you how many people have been asking me about green peppers in the last 4 months. Like multiple people daily asking questions because what they've been doing just isn't working the same. And I can't give you all the reasons why. I think it's a combination of many things. I think it's a combination of our high stress. I think it's a combination of our air quality. I think it's a combination of our food. I think it's a combination of our foods and toxins and other things causing hormonal disruption. There's just things that are out of our control, and we have to be, you know, neck and neck with what is going on. We aren't living 100 years ago or 200 years ago. We're living now. If you're feeling great and what you're doing is working, then you probably aren't here even listening to this because you don't need this. But there is more to this side of wellness than just the weight loss, food noise, blood sugar control with those types of green peppers. Okay, there's ones out there that improve gut and skin health. There is one that it actually fascinates me, and many of these I'll never take. I'm not. These green peppers are basically groups of amino acids that tell your body to turn on the different signals in your body to do what it's supposed to do. Okay, I'm not a chemist, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a physicist, but it does kind of make sense. All right. There's one that can help not only with your skin texture, but skin, it like almost like the melanin in your skin and gut health. It does those two things. It's the world of green peppers is absolutely fascinating. It's going to explode. Jumping on the opportunity now will set you up for a huge burst of excitement and huge possibility of very large bonuses in July if you so choose to. Okay. So we're almost there. I'm not going too far over. It comes back to people, it comes back to health, it comes back to options, and it comes back to balance. Okay. It comes back to not pinning one side against another. I just kind of scroll on past those things now. I used to be much more judgmental myself. I'm not going to lie. Not necessarily saying it, but like in my head. Wow, life has a way of humbling you. And I think the best in all of medicine and health in this wellness revolution is bringing the best of both worlds together. I would love to see every physician working together with not just medications, but natural health and bringing it together. If you are able to get all of your health needs met through herbs and whole foods and the best quality supplements out there, do it. Absolutely keep doing that. But if you're like me and so many other people who that doesn't just work for, I've been on a medication since I was 11 years old. And if you know a lot about what I post, you'd probably think, what? I thought she was anti-medicine. I thought she was anti-doctor. Absolutely not. I am anti being pushed into doing things that I don't get a choice to make a decision in and to do the research myself. I like to try the natural things first, but by golly, if that's not working, thank you, Lord, for all of these wonderful medications that you have given us. Things for mental health, ADHD, antibiotics, pain relief. Hello, it can be a very beautiful thing, and I think that is my goal, is to help people see the beauty in both sides and bring it together and not shame somebody because they chose to not do maybe chemical and drugs to fight a certain disease. They want to do it this way because they've prayed about it. Their conscience, everything in them says they want to do it this way. And for that same person with maybe that same illness or that same struggle to choose a completely medical route, then let them go and be blessed with that too. Pinning making fun of somebody or yelling at somebody for having this diet that got them to the success they're at, or this medication that helped them, that's nonsense. We need to stop doing that. So if you are open to this world, I guess you'd say, of what we are going to be launching here at BellMD, let's chat. Drop some comments below, or just, I can't see the comments like I said right now, but message me privately. All right. Getting started, like I said, in June. And here's your option too with getting started now. You cannot order the green peppers until July 1st. They are not even listed on the site yet. They will be July 1st. You could do one of two things. You could pay $99 right now and become an associate with Trinont, and that makes you an associate with BellMD. Okay. We are one together. It doesn't mean you have to use anything with BellMD, but it's not this separate thing. Okay. This is Trinont. We are Trinont. We now have this additional BellMD. You could do that. $99, you're ready for July 1st to get your green pepper ordered. Or you can join in June for $39 and order 100 PV of product. So maybe you want to get some electrolytes and you want to get the daily health system like the Activate, which I still use the Activate because I love what the Activate does for turning on my AMPK enzyme, for opening up my blood vessels, dilating my blood vessels, helping with oxygen getting to and from my brain, the methylated B vitamins in it. It is an amazing, amazing product, but you don't have to use the products either. We have people flocking in right now solely because they want to use the green peppers and they want to be ready July 1st. So you have that option of getting started now and being ready to order July 1st, or at that $99, or doing the $39 and ordering a few products that get you up to 100 PV. And then July 1st comes and you can switch to green peppers, or you can do both. The sky's the limit. All right. You can literally create your own wellness program. But again, I'm the partner here to help you and guide you and to show you what may be the best for you to start with, what may not be the best for you to start with, what you're looking for in terms of cost, what you're looking for in terms of making money. Everyone's different. Okay. So with that said, I really appreciate you guys popping in tonight. I stayed at a half an hour. I'm really proud of myself. And like I said, any questions, comments, just leave them below or hop on in my inbox. All right. Thank you. And so excited for BellMD July 1st. Woo! Sawyer's birthday. Happy birthday, Sawyer. Oh, didn't even talk about the generational wealth. Sawyer and Sam make an income monthly through this company, as does my husband. The compensation plan here is like none other. So not talking about that tonight, but it'll be a fun birthday for Sawyer for sure. All right. Bye, guys.